Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Okay.
So it's on right now. But I just don't want that going.
Thank you. Here, I can do that.
Thank you. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Are you guys getting it? Is anyone else getting it? For some of them. Testing 1, 2. Is it working? Thumbs up.
They're getting it, but it's slow, they said.
Okay, I'll work on it on that.
It is on.
Right, yeah, that sounds fine. Personal, people try to do this all the time and it never goes well. Very excited.
All right, well, thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. And it's exciting for me. We're in a room full of some old friends of mine in a couple of cases, and some new friends in a lot of cases, and it's exciting. This is a big deal, I think, for Oklahoma and for each of us. You know, life is about making memories, and today's going to be a memorable day. So it's neat. Appreciate everyone being here. And particularly, a lot of the state legislators who are here, thank you for all you've done to help drive Oklahoma's economy forward. This is an important effort, and you all know we talk about it all the time, but improving Oklahoma's economy improves the lives of Oklahomans. And so sometimes people will ask, well, you know, why should I care about commerce in Oklahoma? And the truth is, every Oklahoman cares about commerce in Oklahoma. So we'll get a chance to talk some more about that, but appreciate everyone's efforts. Shelley, thanks for being here from OESC. We appreciate it. And then one other quick point is, I everyone knows it, but it often goes unsaid. Events like this don't just happen. Governor Stitt and I show up, and they kind of happen for us, but a ton of people do a lot of work to make these happen. And so Amy and the entire team at the Department of Commerce, thank you. And Sheila, of course, all the work you've done, thank you very much. And Sherry Alexander and the team at Mid-America and at GRDA, thank you guys very much for helping to make this happen today. And, I think the most important thank you, very clearly, goes to the entire Northern Data team. And so if all you guys would just raise your hands for a second, there's a reason I'm doing this. Sorry to put you through it, but we have a big group from Northern Data here today, which is awesome. What many of you know, but many of you may not, is this event was scheduled for 2 weeks ago. And literally, so some of these folks live in the United States, many don't. And literally, as they were flying over the Atlantic, those of us here got word that the Capitol was going to be closed and we were not going to be able to move forward with the announcement as scheduled. So they landed wherever it was, LaGuardia, Newark, DFW. They said, well, we've come that far. We'll go ahead and come to Oklahoma City. So they came. I had some of them over to my house for wine. We had a really nice dinner. And they basically had to turn around and fly back to Europe, only to get right back on a plane and come back 2 weeks later to be here this morning to try to make this announcement in person. I offered to give them a Zoom option. They said, nope, too important to us, too important to Oklahoma. We'll be there in person. And so anyone who's traveled much, especially internationally, during the pandemic, you all know, you're going to make a connecting flight. You're going to have a mask on for 12, 14, 16 hours. So thank you all for the commitment you've shown to be here in person and make this happen. I've been in this role, as you all know, for about 14 months. Anytime you've spoken with me over those 14 months, it's been all about diversifying Oklahoma's economy. That's what we've been intensely focused on. When I first started, all we talked about at the Department of Commerce was reducing Oklahoma's unemployment rate. It's now 2.3%. It cannot go lower. We never talk about that anymore. What we talk about now is trying to improve lives for Oklahomans by increasing their standard of living directly by raising Oklahoma's per capita personal income. And the most exciting part today is we're going to announce the newest member of Oklahoma's business community who's going to help us accomplish both of those goals, diversifying our economy and increasing Oklahoma's per capita personal income. Before I dive into that, though, a quick little bit of history. And I've known Yosh for over 10 years. We were last summer, he lives and works in London, by the way. Late last summer, we're exchanging emails. He said, hey, I'm going to be in the States in a few weeks. I said, oh, what brings you over? He said, we're going to look at North Dakota. We might put a facility up there. And I said, hey, man, I have one job right now. And that one job is to bring businesses to Oklahoma. You got to come take a look at Oklahoma. And I'll promise you, if you do, you're going to love what you see. And so he said, I'll do it. So he made that commitment. He's been here. A bunch of Zoom calls later, 5 or 6 in-person trips later. And we're here today to announce that they're going to put their primary North American campus in Northeast Oklahoma. And importantly, I met Yosh through a gentleman that I was hoping was going to be here. We invited him to be here, a gentleman named John Vinnick. I've known him nearly 20 years, longtime personal relationship of mine. His son, Drew Vinnick, is here. I see him. He works for Northern Data now, so there's a full circle component to all of this. He introduced me to Yosh. In turn, Yosh introduced me to Arush, and Arush and I have gotten to know each other well over the last 6 or 7 months at this point. He's one of the guys that fast forward 9.5 years and we'll have been friends for 10 years. That's clear to me already at this point. You don't need a crystal ball to see that coming. And what I would say about Arush is he is the most unassuming, humble, visionary leader that you could hope to find. And as many of you know, I worked closely both for and with Aubrey McClendon for years. I'm not drawing a parallel between these two men, but this is important to say. I've had a front row seat to what a visionary leader can do in terms of driving change in communities and driving a state forward. And we have some visionary leaders coming to Oklahoma that will drive change in these communities in and around the Mid-America Industrial Park. So I'm excited about that. I bothered to tell that history because it's proof and really a reminder to all of us and to me that as we sit here, March 9th, 2022, headlines are dominated by the metaverse and artificial intelligence and virtual reality. It's really personal, long-term relationships that still matter. And because of a 10-plus year relationship of mine with Yosh, and because of decades-long partnerships between the state of Oklahoma, Sherry Alexander and Dave Stewart and the team at Mid-America, Dan Sullivan, Nathan Reese, and John Weiscaver, and the team at the Grand River Dam Authority, those long-term relationships and partnerships are why these folks are going to come spend hundreds of millions of dollars and employ hundreds of Oklahomans in Oklahoma. So I could jump in and tell you about their business. Fortunately for all of you, and frankly for them and their shareholders, they are publicly traded on the Frankfurt Exchange, by the way. I don't have to. We've got the founder here, the CEO, the president, and so importantly, Yosh and Arush, welcome to Oklahoma. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Secretary Miller, for the warm welcome. Before I introduce ourselves, I brought you a small video to give you a small idea how we operate our business in Europe.
We build data centers, we operate data centers, and we run the hardware and the software. That's how we can manage and optimize a data center end to end. Whereas classic co-location providers only build a data center, and then other companies bring in the hardware, and only optimize their hardware, but not the data center itself. Then someone comes in and installs software, but they also only see their software. What we can do is end-to-end. Combine the workload, hardware, and data center, including day-to-day operations. Now, this revolution of HPC infrastructure comes to Oklahoma.
Thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arush Telanese, and I'm the founder and CEO of Northern Data. With me here today, my team and our President CFO, Mr. Christopher Yoshida. When you think, to give you a small idea of what Northern Data wants to do is, Northern Data wants to become the leading value generator of HPC infrastructure solution. What I mean with that, I will walk you further through when I walk you through the presentation. But to achieve these goals, we have to expand our global footprint, and we are super excited to be here in Oklahoma. And there are a lot of people worked on this project to make this happen. That's why a special thanks, first of all, to the Honorable Kevin Stitt, Secretary Scott Mueller, Dan Sullivan, and John Weiscaver from GRDA, David Stewart, a big thank to the CEO of Mid-America Park, and at last but not least, a big thank to my Northern Data project team, who all put an amazing sprint over the last 6 months to make this project a reality. When I started this company back in 2013, we use excess compute capacity to mine cryptocurrencies. And over the years, we realized we could do so much more with the compute capacity what we're using. So that's the reason why we started focusing on different use cases rather than only mining cryptocurrency. So 3 of these fields where we are operating today. One, the base case, is a blockchain where we are able to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum. At the same time, we are able to build a competitive cloud platform to be able to offer cloud compute services in the future. And while we're also getting ready to for the AI compute needs of the future. So Northern Data's business cases are super simple. So we are focusing on 3 important cases. So first of all, there is our strategic case where we are investing our money in tier 3 ready data center infrastructure. And when the data centers are built, we are investing money in hardware system, in ASICs and GPU-based systems to mine cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and altcoin to the base case to fund the projects. And our excess capacity, we are selling to third-party hosting customers. And on top of that, we are building our growth case, which is our GPU-based computing cloud. As of today, it's live with 435,000 teraflops of compute capacity to serve the future need of compute power. To give you a short profile of our company, Northern Data, as of today, has 10 data centers globally. And our revenue forecast for last year was 180 to 200 million for the fiscal year 21. Our cash position as of today is roughly 250 million euros. Today we employed 180 full-time employees, and we are moving extremely ESG compliant. To give you an overview of our business activities right now, as I mentioned, our data centers, we are big in Scandinavia. Right now we are in Sweden, in Norway, in Netherlands, in Germany, in the US, and proud to announce our new US headquarters, and especially our new campus in Oklahoma City and in Mid America Park. To give you an idea what we do with the compute capacity right now, what we achieved only this year. So we have right now 22,500 ASIC systems online, where we are able to mine 450 Bitcoins as of today. The cloud systems, right now the GPU-based systems we are using to mine Ethereum as of today, from here start, we have 223,000 GPU systems live in our facilities, and we're able to generate, on a base case, 9,837 Ethereums. End of last year, we had 18,000 ASIC systems. When it comes to the ASIC system, we had 18,000 ASIC systems live. We plan to have 33,000 ASIC systems live by end of Q1. Until end of this year, we are going to 5x our capacity to 110,000 ASIC systems. When it comes to our GPU systems, we are not only able to mine altcoins with these systems, we are also able to rent out GPU rental services. So if some smaller industries and businesses need compute capacity, we are able to rent it out, and also able to provide cloud compute services. If you think about Northern Data, what we can do for Oklahoma, what we're planning to do in Oklahoma, and how our campus might look like, I brought you another video what shows you what we planned to do in Oklahoma.
With 180 employees, Northern Data operates and runs 10 data centers worldwide, with more to come in Europe, Canada, and the US. Crypto mining allows Northern Data to build a portfolio of unique data centers, including a competitive cloud computing division. Strategic partnerships between Northern Data and partners in Oklahoma bring unparalleled benefits to expand technological advancement as well as the new economy of Oklahoma, while providing the infrastructure for AI compute of the future. the state of Oklahoma will become a hub for a new generation of data centers, which will run with a PUE below the standard of 1.2. Our data centers are flexible to adapt to innovations in hardware and operations the moment they arise. The modular pod structure brings strong advantages. Each section works as a self-contained system that can be scaled up to 50 megawatt per building with unbeatable time to market. The first Oklahoma campus data center will run on 250 megawatt in total, and we're aiming for much more in the coming years. At first, a workforce of more than 150 employees is required. In the long term, more than 300 jobs will be created for the future of cloud-based high-performance computing, the new economy, and the state of Oklahoma.
Thank you very much. I hope this gives you an idea of what we plan to do in Oklahoma. And now I would like to pass the word to my President, CFO, Christopher Yoshida, so he will explain a bit more about the partnership.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to take a few seconds and reiterate some of Secretary Mueller's comments. You know, you think of technology and how it's enabled us. You think of how much it demands so much of our time and our thoughts, and you hear about the terms we use today. Let's try to break that down and what it actually tangibly means for the state of Oklahoma, and specifically the northeast part of the state. We're very excited. But equally, we started this project about 6 months ago. When we think about how much work, how much time, the manpower that's gone into this, that's probably 12 to 18 months worth of work. So that the speed and the receptivity of the governor's office, the legislature, the local community has been nothing but profound. And I really think that's incredibly important to highlight, because I can't think of another area we could have operated in and done it so quickly and so professionally on both sides. So really, genuinely thank you, Governor. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you to our friends at Mid-America and GRDA. Cannot thank you enough, right? And for our shareholders and for our company, this is a meaningful investment of our time, of our capital, and our business plan. So let's walk you through that right now. What we're trying to build here is a strategic partnership. We're actually going to expand our footprint. Sorry, I apologize. You don't need a microphone. It's going to be a strategic partnership between us and the local community. We're using our computing horsepower. We talked about it today. You saw those renderings. Those renderings, by the way, if you have been to Mid-America Park, that is very much what it looks like today. Those water towers are there. That is not a complete fabrication. That is exactly how we envision the park to evolve for us. But we are investing a tremendous amount of company money, shareholder capital, and really what the two things we want to get out of this is to make sure that you all know how much value we're going to drive to the local community in both the jobs we're going to create, but also the partnerships we want to foster. Yeah, as Varush kindly walked through, we have three major lines of our business. We build tier 3 data centers. We clearly are a crypto miner, and sometimes that is actually is misallocated or misunderstood. Really what we are is a cloud computing company, which has the whole spectrum of services, from traditional cloud computing services all the way through to digital asset mining. To highlight the key points we'd love you to take away today is that we've committed to an agreement with GRDA of up to 250 megawatts of power. We believe we'll have this campus, which will be, again, our North American campus, our North American headquarters, completed in about 36 months' time. We intend to invest of about €1 million per megawatt and generate about 150 full-time employees, certainly in the next 2 years, and in this considerable scope to grow that. Phase 1, we hope to complete in the next 6 to 8 weeks. That will draw about 10 megawatts of power that's already been commissioned on site. We've purchased and secured a building, 100,000 square feet, that is adjacent to the water towers. You'll see it in Mid-America Park if you're familiar with that. Phase 2, we expect to complete in mid to late Q4. That will have a complete build-out of 50 megawatts. The company, we've already secured a mobile substation that will accelerate the time to market and take some of the pressure off of GRDA's engineering team and ours to figure out how we can get the power capacity brought on site. So that's our own investment, again, in not only the community but the company into the project. Phase 3 and 4, we expect to take the bulk of 36 to 48 months, and you can see that play out there. But again, we're very excited about what we're doing, both from a strategic perspective as a company, but also locally with the economy. If you think about how much this means for our business today, in terms of just sheer personnel, you'll nearly double the capacity of the company, with Oklahoma being the mantelpiece for that. If you think about in terms of power capacity, it will more than double our power capacity and our compute horsepower. This will take 3 to 5 years to build, but we're really focused on the next 24 months. This is a really important part because I have to say, in spending so much time with your legislature and your leaders, it was very clear to us how important the community is to both their constituents, but also to our being welcome to the community. You know, we want to work very closely with the universities and education in the nearby areas. There's some tremendous universities that have cutting-edge research labs, cutting-edge computer science programs, and what we want to be able to offer is a lab where we can actually partner with them and work with them. And so when you think of the jobs, the internships, the capacity that we'll build out to the local communities, it's going to be tremendous. And you'll hear more about our commitment to the community later today over at Mid-America, so we're very excited about that. So as a whole, you know, we see Northern Data not only as an employer, but as an enabler, right? And I think, you know, Secretary Mueller's points about how technology has really changed the footprint of the economy here in Oklahoma, and we think we are part of that, and not just being a participant, but being a driving force of it. You know, we want to bring things like research labs and tech labs. We want to work on partnerships with the universities. You know, for us, picking Oklahoma was both a geographical perfection in terms of where we operate within North America, but also making sure we had the reach and the support of the universities, the government, and the community as a whole. So building things like a tech lab for us makes such great sense in our flagship campus. So again, we are tremendously excited to be here. You know, the rendering we've made, I think, gives everyone hopefully a very crystal clear glimpse of Arusha's vision. Secretary Mueller's correct. I've spent 20, 25 years in business. I've met a lot of CEOs. I've met a lot of founders. Typically, their vision is, I think, lost in ego, lost in a pursuit of wealth, and having such a visionary leader who actually thinks of the community, thinks of his employees, and thinks of how to execute is really a pleasure to work for. So we're very excited to become partners. I've had a chance to meet many of the people in the room today. We've already spent a tremendous amount of time here. I think it's more than 5 trips, actually, Scott, that we think of this now. And the fact that we were here 2 weeks ago and got to witness what I believe is a once-in-a-4-year snowstorm made it all that much more special that we could reconvene 2 weeks later. So really excited to launch this today. It's transformative for our company, and we thank you all and look forward to spending many more hours together in the coming years ahead. So thank you, sir.
Arush and Yosh, thank you guys very much. By the way, Yosh is a friend of mine. You're hearing me call him Yosh all the time. From this moment forward, you all should consider him a soon-to-be friend, and as a result, you all should call him Yosh from this moment going forward. So that'll be easier and shorter. You guys have, at least all the Oklahomans have heard me say a number of times, I view myself, Jennifer Springer knows this, as the outward-facing salesperson for the state of Oklahoma. And I actually heard Senator Bergstrom told me this morning, well, I haven't seen you in a while. I said, well, that's a good thing. If I'm sitting in the Capitol, I'm not out somewhere else talking to people about the state of Oklahoma. And that's been my concerted effort. That's the role I try to play. It's where I believe I can add the most value for Oklahoma and Oklahoma taxpayers. But the truth is, the number one salesperson for the state of Oklahoma is always going to be our governor. And I try to do the best job I can in the meetings he can't go to is really effectively what it is. And in this very room yesterday, we had a group of folks, and I said then, it's certainly true, this is the best time in history to be out telling Oklahoma's story. And the reason for that is we have the governor that knows more about business than any other governor in the United States of America right now. So with that said, there's really nothing further to say. It's my pleasure to introduce a friend of mine and the governor of the great state of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt.
Thank you so much, man. That you're too kind. If I've done anything right, it's hiring Scott Mueller to run commerce. Would y'all agree? He is truly amazing. The best commerce secretary our state's ever had. I'd probably say the best in the country for sure. But you know, a couple things, and I'll be real brief. First off, we're so excited to have you in Oklahoma. Thank you for choosing our great state. We have had an international strategy for a while. I told Oklahomans when I ran that I wanted to take the world to Oklahoma. I wanted to take Oklahoma to the world and bring the world back to Oklahoma. And that's exactly what we're doing in commerce. And so our strategy is when we talk to international companies that are looking for a U.S. presence, there's no better state to locate in than the state of Oklahoma for a variety of different reasons. But the location, number one, to get your goods and products around the country, we are the best location of anywhere in the country. And then when I think about diversification, high-tech jobs, I hope the media gets this, that we are focused on high-tech jobs. Nothing wrong with, call centers and those kind of things, but my goal is to increase median income in Oklahoma. So Scott Mueller's job is to go look and try to recruit those companies that are bringing our average up. We've gone, since I took over, 48,000 was our median income. We're now up to around 52,000 a year across Oklahoma. We're trying to drive that up. Companies like this will continue to bring that average up and bring high-paying jobs to Oklahomans and increase quality of life all across our state. So that can't be understated enough. And then energy policies. I just want to touch on that. That is top of mind for everybody right now, especially as we see what's happening across the globe and with it hurting everyday Oklahomans at the gas pump and also Americans. But Oklahoma gets it right, and it's common sense to us that we need an all-of-the-above approach to energy in Oklahoma. And that's why companies like Northern Data are choosing Oklahoma. We have the lowest price of electricity to the consumer and businesses 11 out of the last 14 quarters, I think I'm quoting that correctly, of any other state. And it's because we have innovated, and we believe in oil and gas, and we believe in wind energy. We're number 2 in wind production. We're number 6 in oil production, number 4 natural gas, some of the cleanest water, cleanest air in the country. And I think you're seeing companies starting to be attracted to our great state because of that. Then the last thing I'll say is it's all about relationships. And they know that we're a very flat organization. The leadership of the House, the Senate's in this room. Great partnership with GRDA, our energy sector. You can get the governor on the phone, the Secretary of Commerce. And so we appreciate capital being invested, and we appreciate business and innovation in our great state. Other states, not so much. But Oklahoma is open for business. We want to help you be successful. I tell all of my regulatory bodies that report to me, hey, we want to be friends with the industry. We want to be clear with the rules. We'll never pick winners and losers, but we want to be clear and help you succeed and then get out of the way and let businesses go compete and win. And we think you can compete and win very, very well in the great state of Oklahoma. So we're pumped to have you here. We're excited. I'm just glad to play a small part and partner with all the great people in this room. And the universities, the career techs, we're all standing by, ready and willing to help you fill those jobs and create the workforce that you need. And our education community is listening to the businesses and are trying to get the programs aligned with what the jobs are coming into our state. So it all works together, and I'm just excited to serve and play a part in the growth of Oklahoma and our march to becoming top 10. So thank you guys so much for having me. And I think we might open it up to a few questions. I don't know. We got a couple more speakers. Couple more speakers. Okay. I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Governor State, by the way. That's the highlight of the show for sure. I mentioned earlier a decades-long relationship, and it dates really back to World War II, certainly the 1960s. And Mid-America Industrial Park has been such a strategic asset for the state of Oklahoma. It's led by, as you all know, Dave Stewart. And importantly, before Dave steps up here, as we were putting this deal together, it's kind of evidence of the fact that these guys, even on their first visit, were future Oklahomans. The first deal we struck was a handshake. And upon that handshake, we knew we had a deal. It's since been documented. You need to document things in this day and age. But the first deal was a handshake. I texted the governor that night. I said, hey, we just signed a deal. I'm going to tell you why you should be just as excited about it as I am. These guys went back and told their shareholders and their legal counsel, we have a deal, and we knew that. And part of that was because of Dave Stewart helping us make that deal at Mid-America. So Dave.
All right. You know, Governor, one thing I've learned, if you're in the blue room, it's a good thing, right? Because good things happen. And good things happen when good people have a common purpose and a common goal. Thanks to Governor Stitt, your pro-business environment that you've created, Secretary Miller, your business sense is unprecedented. Brent Kisling at Department of Commerce and the whole team at Commerce. It tells everybody that Oklahoma is open for business and Mid-America makes business easy, as Scott indicated. We would not be in the position that we're in today if we had not worked with the state and actually had a governor that really develops a sense of business sense across the state. It's another milestone in the result of master planning at Mid-America in a way that provides a company the resources to make a decision, a tipping point decision to make a site location. And so that is what we've been working at over the past years. We started a spec building program several years ago, and that's one of the buildings that you're going to buy, Yos and Ruth. We've been expanding our greenfield sites to be shovel-ready and also strengthening our workforce. We're one of the largest industrial parks in the central U.S., and Northern Data's selection of Mid-America as a site for its expansion is a testament to our competitiveness for new jobs. The Mid-America team provides Northern Data with unparalleled speed to market. As a public trust, we have the ability to make decisions quickly and move a site from shovel-ready to operational without the traditional construction delays that other cities and states might have. Whether it's same-day permitting for construction or helping recruit a skilled workforce across a four-state region, we're a partner for the long-term success of all of our employers. In today's global economy, reliable power is power and it's currency. What truly made this decision easy for Northern Data was our partner, GRDA, and thank you, GRDA, for your partnership. Congratulations to Dan, John, Nathan, and the Mid-America team for the successful recruitment of our significant new customer, Northern Data. To Arush, Yosh, and the entire Northern Data team, who we've come to know over the time, after getting to know them, we know that they're going to be great community partners, and very soon Mid-America will be your partner to help you focus on fast-tracking your construction. Again, thank you for your selection of Mid-America Industrial Park and your capital investment in Oklahoma. Thank you.
Well, in a lot of ways, Dave really just gave the introduction. Governor Stitt referenced it as well. Really critical to this process, to helping Northern Data gain the confidence that Oklahoma was the right place for them, was the involvement of the Grand River Dam Authority. And we had an initial introduction. From there, these guys in many ways almost took over the process to helping to bring these guys to Oklahoma and really just explain the merits. And Governor Stitt referenced it, over 40% of the electricity generated in Oklahoma today comes from renewable sources. It's highly reliable, it's price competitive. All those things are very attractive, but it still comes down to people. Dan, Nathan, and John were very involved personally. Given that, you get a chance to hear from Nathan as well.
All right, thank you, Secretary Mueller, Governor. Thanks for having us here today. GRDA has gone since 1940, has grown from a small local producer of hydropower to a major power producer with a capacity of nearly 2,500 megawatts generated from a portfolio of renewable and traditional energy resources. The diversity of our generation portfolio complements the ever-increasing percentage of renewable energy in the regional market and positions GRDA at the forefront of the transformation of the U.S. energy sector. More and more we are seeing that affordable energy is required to power economic growth. And the diversity of our power portfolio also means we can offer this affordable and reliable power to our Oklahoma municipal customers, as well as the employers of the Mid-America Industrial Park. This partnership with Northern Data is an enormous victory for GRDA and the state of Oklahoma, but also for the other Oklahoma communities that we at GRDA consider family. GRDA is committed to utilizing our substantial transmission and distribution system at Mid-America to deliver 250 megawatts to Northern Data within 24 months. To provide some perspective, 250 megawatts of power is equivalent to powering a small city of over 200,000 homes and will make Northern Data among our largest customers. We are actively working to ensure GRDA is ready to deliver significantly more power within the next 5 years to help Northern Data meet its current and future growth projections. These long-term power agreements provide Northern Data with reliable and competitively priced energy for quick deployment, for future expansion and ultimate success, which translates not only into the future success of GRDA, but of all the Oklahoma communities it serves. So with that, I would just like to say to the entire Northern Data team, welcome to the GRDA family, and herzlich willkommen in Oklahoma. Thank you.
Well, Nathan just show off and broke out the German. Appreciate that. I think what we'll do, there were a bunch of different speakers, so the thought today is first of all, the conclusion is thank you all for being here. Thank you, Northern Data, for choosing Oklahoma. And then we want to make all the speakers available for questions from the media. So rather than try to do that from the podium, which is kind of unwieldy, we're just going to hang around for a little bit. And if folks have questions, feel free to grab us. We'll look forward to speaking whatever's on everyone's mind. Okay, and a group photo.